Welcome back to Last Call, your one-stop shop for all kinds of sports. Nathaniel, IU Penn State happened on Saturday. Tough loss for my Hoosiers, for sure.
Yeah, and me being a Purdue fan, I feel for you as they had a tough loss over the weekend as well. We'll get to that in a little bit, but first for IU and Penn State, the final score there was 45-14, and it just wasn't what fans hoped for. Obviously, with Penn State being a top 15 team, you knew it would be a tough draw. But at home, you thought there'd be a little bit more fight. And it started out pretty well. We see here it was 7-7 before that touchdown run in the second quarter. So it kind of started well, and then it didn't quite finish the way that an IU fan would hope.
Well, it's IU's defense, and that's always the problem with IU is their defense. They can't locate a running back, as you see here. Another rushing touchdown. And another rushing touchdown. I'm sorry, that was a play action. They had another rushing touchdown later on. It's been week in, week out that IU has not been able to finish plays, finish games. They look good in one half, look bad in the next, and that's just the tail of the tape for the Hoosiers.
Yeah, and obviously with Penn State being a good team, it's a tough draw, but it was tough to lose that. As far as Purdue and Iowa, similarly, could not get the win, and Iowa is not as high caliber of a team as Penn State is. This should have been Purdue's game to begin with, but there's too many mistakes. They weren't able to get the win. The final score there, 24-3. Purdue mustered a field goal against this team. This is Iowa. This is not prime Kirk, Iowa back in the day. These guys they're not the team that would blank a Purdue team like this.
Well, in quarterback play, as you see right there, was the issue for the Boilers. Of course, there's not much you can do if you don't have a competent quarterback under center, and I wouldn't venture to say the quarterback's not competent, but he did not look good at all in that game.
That's what I think's crazy is because he has been so good. He started the season super hot, did have that bit of an injury issue, but just the fact that Aiden O'Connell has played well this year, he's top 6 all-time of passing yards in a Purdue uniform, and yet, for whatever reason, he's just been on such a slump.
I mean, we've seen him throw for 400, 450 yards, 5 touchdowns against major Division I opponents, and whether they were wins or losses, it was tough.
Forget Purdue, forget IU. Notre Dame reigned supreme against a number 5 ranked Clemson team. My goodness, what happened? This is crazy. Notre Dame came up against a top 5 ranked team, and it's their second ranked win in as many weeks. They played very well.
Yeah, they're on a roll right now, and this is not the same team that lost to Marshall and lost $3 million in the process. I mean, to do this against a Clemson team that was top 5 and has a great quarterback and a solid defense, they really capitalized on the mistakes that Clemson made.
You see this pick 6 goes all the way and gave Notre Dame a 28-0 lead in the fourth quarter. 28-0 13 minutes left. I don't know how they did it. The defense had a blocked punt touchdown, a pick 6, and it was a pretty impressive day, and it was the running game that really helped.
Well, that's the signature win that Notre Dame's looking for to gain some confidence in Freeman as a coach. I think it's a big deal, and I'm proud of Notre Dame.
Let's move on, talk about Georgia, Tennessee.
What a game.
Came into this one thinking it would be a great game down to the wire, and Georgia shows why they should be that number 1 team in the college football playoff.
You know, two undefeateds coming in, 2 powerhouses that looked like it would be, you know, a 35-34 game, but man, Georgia just really proved, like you said, why they should be the number 1 seed, the number 1 team in the nation. And it was an interesting turn of events for Tennessee to turn around and lose by so many points to the Bulldogs.
27-13 was that final score, and it was just such a tough game. I came in thinking 8.5 was how much Georgia was favored. I said there's no way that Tennessee's going to lose by 9 points or more, and sure enough, they got their butts handed to them.
And you would think the big arm of Hendon Hooker would allow Tennessee to gain some of those yards back. I mean, in a shootout, you want a quarterback with a huge arm like he has, somebody that's able to be mobile, escapability in the pocket, and then, you know, launch one on the fly. And he did not have that going at all in that game.
Plenty happening over the weekend in college football. Let's take a look at the AP poll and see what the rankings look like here after this week. Just released today. We see here obviously Georgia, Ohio State, Michigan, and now TCU. TCU's at number 4.
My boys, Max Duggan, Heisman candidate. He will win it if TCU keeps winning.
Clemson falls down to 12, Alabama down to 10. 2 teams that took big losses and I mean, how about that? It's been an interesting last few weeks, but who would have thought if we looked at the AP poll for Week 11 at Week 1, everyone would have thought we were crazy. That's wild.
Well, here's what I find crazy about the AP poll. Tulane is ranked. They're coming in at the 15th spot.
Yeah.
They've been playing great football. If they keep on the roll that they're on, they might end up in a New Year's Six. Who knows?